This podcast is for entertainment purposes only and does not substitute for professional medical advice. Please seek a medical professional or healthcare provider if you're seeking any medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Thanks, everyone.
Double fisting. It's that time of the day at this point. We are 2 episodes deep in recording today, so we gotta
I'm
even
good.
it out. Oh no, I'm
kicking
we
it.
got
And I
this.
actually really love this topic.
Yeah.
So-
Well, it was your idea. I didn't even know.
Really? What did I?
I don't know, but you did it like a couple of episodes back. You're like, oh yeah, there is this connection and whatever. It's like scientifically proven at this point, and I'm like, well, shit. I'm gonna put on.
Well, yeah, there's definitely a lot of research going into this topic, but I just love this topic a lot.
So what is it?
Okay, so we're going to be talking about the mind-gut connection. Okay, so a lot of people don't know, but we, apart from our brain and our nervous systems and all of that, we do have something called the enteric nervous system, and it connects. Both of them kind of connect, okay, all together. And it's very complex. There's a lot of new research coming out on it. No, I'm not a professional at all, or how can I say it? There's still a lot of studies that need to be done in order to like really describe. So there's a lot of research that still needs to be done. Sometimes I do come across some articles that are like, does this really provide like any benefit? Is this really what was that?
Oh, that's Newman barking.
Oh. Okay. I thought
Yeah.
it was Mario. I was like, something's wrong with Mario.
Yeah.
Okay.
If Mario's
There's, like,
something
no
like that, I know. I'd be like,
Yeah.
somebody's dying.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, sometimes we do come across some articles that are a little bit questionable on whether there truly is like anything that could be done about the microbiome and its connection and like all these things.
That's
to our
huge.
brain and emotions and
There's
other
a huge
diseases.
area of study for that right now.
But I'm a huge believer that nutrition is essential
100%.
and a lot of things.
Yeah.
I'm not just like trying to be like, oh, a wellness junkie and telling you that you're going to live a better life if you do this. Like you will. Okay.
Yes.
But we're going to be talking about the mind-gut connection.
It was very interesting. When I dove into this for research, I was like, wow, there's a lot going into this.
Yeah, it's very interesting. And honestly, it's very promising. I feel like it's one of those fields in medicine that I think the more that people read about it, the more people understand, the more people are open to kind of maybe altering something in their daily lifestyle that could benefit them.
Yeah. And in essence, what we're going to conclude in this, but I'm just going to say it from now because we are going to conclude in it. And it's kind of like what the whole basis of this topic is that you are what you eat.
Yeah.
And we're going to explain why.
Yeah.
All the different reasons of why that's real. So go right ahead.
All right, so the mind-gut connection, it's a term used to describe the physical and chemical interactions between the brain and the digestive system. So kind of what I already said before, it involves the enteric nervous system, which is a network of more than 100 million nerve cells that can line the gastrointestinal tract. So basically, the whole entire gastrointestinal tract, it starts from the mouth all the way down to the esophagus, stomach, small intestine, large intestine, colon, all of that.
Huge.
Okay.
It's a
So
lot.
it lines all of that. And then the enteric nervous system communicates with the central nervous system through the vagus nerve. If you guys didn't know, the vagus nerve is the longest cranial nerve in the body. And there's a lot. The vagus does a lot. Okay?
Yeah. And there's like a lot of practices using the vagus nerve. Like I think like yoga and things like that, like they try to activate it.
Yeah,
or
there's
like,
nerve stimulators, there's
yeah,
everything.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So the vagus nerve does a lot. And so basically, goes through that. And then the enteric nervous system also produces neurotransmitters and hormones that can affect the brain's mood and cognition.
Right.
So for those of you that didn't know, I think I mentioned this in a couple episodes before, but a lot of our serotonin actually is in the gut.
That's mind blowing.
Yeah. So if you are a person that feels anxiety, depression, and all these things, you will likely have GI issues.
Yeah.
Okay. So irritable bowel, Crohn's, those are more inflammatory.
Yeah.
No, but yes, like these things have been linked together.
That's
So
like, wow.
yeah. And sometimes I feel like that's why some medications can also give you like these GI
True.
symptoms as well. So yeah.
Well, the first one that comes into mind is antibiotics, but that one's like kind of like,
Yeah, the antibiotics is more because of the bacteria that we have. So
Right.
remember, antibiotics don't know which is the bad bacteria and which is the good bacteria.
it just like
It
obliterates
just
everything.
obliterates everything. So then when you have that disbalance,
Yeah.
or that unbalanced, I should say, not disbalance, that's not a word. That when you have that unbalanced microbiome, then you can have issues with reabsorption and stuff. So your poop is more watery and you have diarrhea and it's disgusting.
All the fun stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and then things like C. diff. You can get C. diff from certain antibiotics or like overuse of antibiotics, anyways. So the gut-brain connection has been studied for a really long time, but its full extent and mechanisms are still being explored. It is huge.
Yeah.
Like the world of our gut and microbiome is just massive, and I think it's starting to get a lot of popularity now and
Yeah.
a lot of more research is going into it, and there really are a lot of things like showing connections, like for example eczema.
Yes, I did hear about that.
So kids have a lot of eczema, and right now most of the time we associate eczema with atopic disorders. So maybe some allergies, maybe some reaction or contact dermatitis,
Yeah.
something that your body's like irritant to your skin. If you have atopy, that's usually associated with asthma and allergies, like I said before. So then you can have atopic dermatitis. So it's like a form of that, just in a different way. But now there's a lot of studies showing that eczema can actually be linked to your gut health. So in kids' gut health. And I'm pretty sure that everyone can agree with me that the Western world's diet is not good
No.
at all.
No. Just the additives, the processed foods, like,
Corn syrup
and
just
everything.
everything out there.
Yeah.
That we're
Sugars
putting
and
in
everything.
our foods, that we're putting in our foods and what we're giving our kids and
Yeah.
stuff like that. And now they're coming out with research that there can be a link between eczema. Like we finally have an answer as to why things are happening. And it's more things that I can even educate parents on.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I get really frustrated parents that they're like, I don't know what to do with this eczema. I'm
Yeah.
doing everything. I've eliminated all fragrances, alcohols, things with irritants and
Right.
eczema foundation certified and all these things, but they still have eczema that it's probably improving,
Yeah.
but not completely resolved, and they have no idea, like they want answers.
Right.
And there's no other things. There's no other asthma, there's no allergies, there's no family history.
Yeah.
So now I can say, hey, there's a lot of studies going into that.
Right.
This could possibly be linked to the gut
Yeah.
or gut health. And it gives us more depth to something that we probably didn't have a straightforward answer, like everything else in medicine, basically.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And eczema has always been like such a topic of mystery.
Yeah, and it's really frustrating.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Amar had eczema for like maybe year one, like before he was 1 year old. And my God. Like,
Terrible.
It was awful. It was so, like you said, frustrating because you try all these things, you try the creams, you try all these things, and it's still a mystery. You're like, I don't know what else to do. You know?
Yeah.
Thankfully, he got over it. But there's kiddos out there that they're
Yeah.
5, 6, whatever, and they still have eczema.
Oh, no, yeah. And luckily, we have a lot of medications that are now new and up and coming in the world of eczema. So there's meds that have literally been life-changing for a lot of my patients. So, however, it doesn't stray away from the fact that we need to do more research on things so that maybe we don't end up needing these medications. Maybe some
Yeah.
changes in lifestyle or maybe environmental factors that we can
Right.
change, that we have some control over, that will improve these type of problems.
Absolutely. And if it could be something as easy as eliminating something in your diet,
Yeah.
and then that will help your eczema,
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
You know? Like,
I had a patient that she came in, poor thing. It was just bad eczema.
okay.
Bad, I would say moderate to severe eczema around her eyes, around her face, all over her limbs, truncal type of eczema that the mom says sometimes the mom can't even sleep because she hears her scratching herself the
no.
entire night. And then, but she says that she spends 2 months in the summertime with her dad in Germany, and that her eczema completely clears up in Germany.
Oh, then it's clearly something that she's eating here versus over there then, right?
Environmental.
Yeah.
We don't.
Well, we know that in Europe.
Water? Like the water? I don't
too.
know.
Something that simple. Yeah. Like we know too. Listen to this. When I went to Canada, we go to like last year and then this year, I don't eat eggs.
Yeah.
That's my thing. I just don't like the taste of it. I don't know. There's something about eggs that I'm not about. Canada, I ate eggs every fucking morning. And I started out and it wasn't even, like omelet, that you barely taste. No. I was eating scrambled egg, like with nothing, no cheese, no anything, just full on egg. And I'm like, I can't do this at home.
Yeah.
No matter if I buy them organic and the whole shebang, pasture raised, whatever.
Yeah.
I can't. There's something about the taste here that I'm just like, it grosses me out.
Yeah.
Over there, delicious. Let me have it.
Interesting enough that you said that. My mom, when we went to Canada recently, my mom suffers from psoriasis and really bad psoriasis to the point where she's on biologicals. And without the biologicals, like she will flare up and it's bad. So we went to Canada and my mom was like, I don't know if it's the environment or what we're eating or something, but my psoriasis is better.
Wow.
And we spent a week there.
That's amazing. I'm telling you, there's something. I don't know what it is, but there's something. And you see it all the time in the news and in TikTok and social medias and all that there's so many additives in our food here in the US that are banned or whatever over in the EU or the UK, Canada and all that. Yet for here, it's fine. Like we have it in all of our foods. So there's definitely something to that.
Yeah. Even in the products that we use.
100%. That's another one.
The products that we use are also, there's like some things that are safe here, but not over there.
But you mentioned something that I
else.
had not thought about. Water.
Yeah.
Just the water you bathe in, the water you drink,
exactly.
everything.
Yeah. Anyways, that was a huge tangent.
We really went into that one.
Back to the enteric nervous system. So, the gut-brain connection, like I said, has been studied for a really long time. The earliest discoveries of the gut-brain connection was made by the Russian physiologist Ivan Pavlov. He won the Nobel Prize, actually, in 1904 for his research on the cephalic phase. So basically, the cephalic phase is it initiates the digestive process. So a good example of this is when you see food and you start like salivating and stuff like that. Well, what also happens is that you start releasing pancreatic secretions, so pancreatic enzymes and gastric enzymes, so things that are literally preparing your body for a meal.
For digestion, for everything.
For digestion, exactly.
And there I go, almost falling.
Yeah, that chair is a little finicky.
Yeah. But it's like our same height. It just works right now. I got to figure something else out for seating.
Yeah. What do you guys, and out there, like, I love this angle.
Yeah, this angle's a lot better.
Right?
Yeah. Okay, there we go with our tangents anyway.
Yes, anyway. Okay. Okay. So anyways, however, the gut-brain connection is not a one-way street. The gut can also send signals to the brain, affecting the mood, cognition, behavior. This was demonstrated by a study published in 2018, which revealed a newly discovered neural circuit that directly links the brain to the gut. The researchers in 2015 used a monosynaptic rabies virus to trace connections between the enteroendocrine cells. So enteroendocrine cells are basically cells in our gut, okay, that release these type of hormones, neurotransmitters, okay? And then which are specialized gut, oh wow, it's the next sentence. Okay, which are specialized gut cells that produce hormones and neurotransmitters. Why didn't you tell me you wrote that?
I mean, I didn't want to interrupt you.
And I was like, no one's going to know what enteroendocrine cells are.
I know. That's why I was like, well.
Okay, so enteroendocrine cells, which are specialized gut cells that produce hormones and neurotransmitters, and the neurons that innervate the small intestine and colon. Okay, so those are all linked. Okay, they found that these cells form synapses. So synapses are connections. So connections from nerve cell to nerve cell. Okay. So synapses with the vagus nerve, which is the main conduit of communication between the gut and the brain. Okay. So this means that the gut can rapidly and selectively transmit information to the brain without involving any immune system or the bloodstream. So it's a direct connection to your brain.
That's important.
Yeah.
And that's why it's like so, it influences so much,
Yeah.
you know, because if it's going to go straight there, like immediately, then
Yeah.
damn. Okay. Okay. Me.
Sure. Tired of hearing myself.
Okay. Some of the benefits of having a healthy mind-gut connection are, like, as you could imagine, improved digestion. Why did I say it like that? I'm having, my synapses are not synapsing.
Digestion?
My synapses are not synapsing.
They're not.
Yeah. Improved digestion and nutrient absorption. There we go. My synapses are not synapsing. Synapsing? I don't know.
Synapsing?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Communicating, I guess. Anyway,
Let's try that again.
improved digestion and nutrient absorption.
Nice. I like it.
Yes. All right. Reduced inflammation and immune system response. Okay. So then that's why it's like, it'll make you healthier because obviously you're going to, unless, what's the word? Inflammation.
Yes. So
For that
inflammation, just so that everyone's like, how does inflammation lead to
Yeah.
these type of situations? The theory behind it is that when there's inflammation, then you have almost what's called like a leaky gut. So there's like spaces that are supposed to be tight and are not supposed to have, are supposed to be a barrier. And then what
Yeah.
happens with inflammation is that you get damage to these certain areas. And then now the barrier is, what is the word that I'm looking for? Compromised.
Compromised.
So basically, when you have that damaged barrier, it creates a presentation of epitopes, which is something that an antibody can target, and then it looks foreign to our own body. So this is where our autoimmune diseases come in, and this is the theory behind it, all of that.
Oh, okay, so we're talking about like Crohn's and IBS and whatever. Okay, that makes sense. All right, so enhance mood and emotional stability. So that, I mean, come on, you know, we're always thinking about these days wellness and all that stuff. Like maybe if we work on our diet, it'll help out our overall wellness, which is our enhanced mood and emotional stability and all that stuff. So lower stress and anxiety levels,
Yeah.
increase cognitive function and memory. I could definitely agree with that. Like, I mean, when you're hungry and then, or
Not
even
only that, but like when you're eating healthier, you just think clear.
more clear. Yeah. For instance, when we go to Disney, we're typically eating like fast food or whatever. You're not really like at Disney eating freaking healthy, very healthy and clean things, right? Dude, when I'm there and I come back, I'm just like all over the place.
Yeah.
I am all over the place, even in the bathroom, if you know what I mean.
Yep.
I'm not going to be specific. So it's like, you could tell.
Yeah.
You could tell. And then when I come back, everything's normal because I'm eating my
Yeah.
normal stuff. But anyway,
There's been a lot of, I work with a lot of kids with ADHD, and I've had to do my fair share in research on holistic type of ways to deal with these sort of neural, or maybe not neural. What's the word? Behavioral type of problems. And I have a lot of patients that will remove certain things
Yes.
from their diet,
yes.
and the parents, like, they swear
Yeah.
that they have a new child
That-
just by eliminating some things.
I've seen that with red dye number 2.
Yeah.
That one's like huge. That apparently it really, really affects hyperactivity and stuff like that. So parents have noticed
It's not just sugar. I'm not over here like less sugar.
No.
Like I'm talking about
It's
certain things.
It's a
Yeah.
dye. It's a dye. Like it could even be something that's sugar free, but it has this
That.
dye. And parents, I mean, it's all over the web. Like you could see it everywhere. That they eliminate red dye number 2, and the child is less hyperactive, more like even keel. As soon as they eat something that has red dye number 2, and red dye number 2 is like everywhere. It's not only
Yeah.
candy, it's also like cereals and,
Yeah.
and a bunch of stuff like that. They remove that from their diet, and the child is a whole different thing, like a whole different child. But when they take it because I don't know, they went to a party and they had something there, it's like mind blowing. But so it really does affect like mood and all these things.
Yeah.
And then of course better sleep quality and circadian rhythm, because those two are intertwined regardless. And then the mind gut connection can also be disrupted by various factors like stress, of course, diet, as we've been saying, infection, medication, and genetics. So there's that. And then you want to,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, some of the possible consequences of having an unhealthy mind gut connection are irritable bowel syndrome, which we mentioned. Some of these we kind of already mentioned, but just to kind of reiterate, functional bowel problems. So, functional is more like it's a term that we use when we've kind of ruled out the majority of things, and we're just like, it's functional. So, it's like something that is maybe, like mind gut. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So, how can I explain it? It's like you can still like you live a normal life, but you just like have it.
Okay.
It's just
Okay.
you're a person. It's like you're a person that just has it.
Okay. Okay. But you're able to like live your life. It doesn't inhibit you.
Exactly. Like it's like recurrent. It's like persistent symptoms, chronic symptoms that you have, and you just have it daily. And there isn't anything specific underlying that we can kind of relate it to.
Okay. Okay. All right.
So that's like very hard to explain to someone.
100%.
That's like, where is this coming from? And you're like, it's functional. And they're like, what?
Yeah.
Because even me, I was like, what?
Yeah. What does that even mean?
Yeah. So I tried. Yes, I have given the diagnosis of functional abdominal pain. But I mean, you have to work that person up and make sure that they don't have anything before you're like, it's functional.
Right. Right.
So inflammatory bowel disease, food allergies is a huge one, food intolerances, obesity, diabetes, autism spectrum disorders, Parkinson's disease, Alzheimer's disease, anxiety, depression, and there's other mental disorders.
Yeah, there's a slew of them. Like every day we're seeing more and more the mind gut connection to these mental illnesses in essence, and how people are able to change their diet, and then that really transforms other things and other aspects of their mental health.
Yeah, there's a ton of research, at least for Alzheimer's.
Yeah,
there's a ton of research showing that nutrition is essential. In what it is to like maybe try for prevention of Alzheimer's, exercise as well. Have you ever read the book Genius Foods?
No.
Okay, so Genius Foods is by Max Lugavere. I think that's how you say his name.
Okay.
But he's a reporter. So his backstory is that he's a reporter and his mom was diagnosed with Alzheimer's and she unfortunately passed from Alzheimer's. And he basically dedicated himself on researching, working with physicians, working with researchers and everything on where does this dementia come from, what can help, what not. And in his whole entire investigation, he found that a lot of these dementias come from foods.
Wow. Yeah.
And not that the food literally causes the dementia, it's just these type of processed foods and foods that maybe aren't antioxidants and stuff like that just don't help. So he made this book called Genius Foods. And the best part about this is when you read a research paper from a scientist, you're bored out of your mind. Because the language that they use, the
just monotone and straight to the point.
It's straight to the point. It's very scientific. It's very hard to read. It's very hard to get through.
It's hard to understand for the layman person.
And it's very hard to understand.
Yeah.
But because he's a reporter, he wrote this book, and just the way that he communicates that information is just
that's great.
Perfect. It's beautiful. It's so intriguing, and you keep reading and you're like, wow. He explains everything to a T.
Wow.
You know, and in the best way possible.
Yeah.
So highly recommend that book for anyone. He actually has his own podcast.
Oh.
Yeah, he has his own podcast and it's called Genius Foods, and I listen to it all the time.
Oh, that's awesome.
But he will go food by food, what's inside the food, why is it better for you, why has it been linked to preventing dementia, and all these things. It's fantastic, and his podcast is great too. And he also talks not about like his book there, but he talks about like other things in the world in his whole entire journey through understanding Alzheimer's. Fantastic person.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So anyways, all of these things are still being studied today. So some of the ways to optimize the mind-gut connection are eating a balanced and diverse diet that includes probiotics, prebiotics, fiber, antioxidants. Okay. A lot of people say, oh, I want to take probiotics and probiotics and probiotics, but prebiotics are also just as important.
Yeah.
It's like you need that for the probiotic.
So what's a prebiotic?
So prebiotic is like the before. So what you need in order to benefit from the probiotic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
However, the research on probiotics is super wishy-washy.
Really?
Very wishy-washy.
Well, I'll tell you something. Like, I can't take probiotics.
Yeah.
I can't. The moment that I take probiotics, I'm in the toilet.
Yeah.
It fucks me up. Like, I don't know what it is about it,
Yeah.
but I've tried taking it, like when I'm taking antibiotics, that
Yeah,
typically they tell you, oh,
exactly.
try to pair it with a probiotic for your flora or whatever. Blah, blah. Dude, it
Yeah.
does worse.
Yeah.
I don't know. And like most of the time people are like, oh no, it's great. It helps me out with antibiotics, but for me, I can't do it.
Yeah, and it's very wishy-washy.
Interesting.
Like a lot of people will say if you have like an acute gastroenteritis to take probiotics, there's the research shows that it doesn't make any difference in your diarrhea symptoms. So but again, we're talking about, first of all, these are cultures, right? So these are bacteria.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you're ingesting bacteria.
You're ingesting these bacteria.
Yeah.
But how much of that bacteria is still effective? You know? So this is where that wishy-washiness comes from. So I have no doubt that taking these sort of things, if they're 100% effective, will help you in some way.
Right.
But it's the way that it's ingested and absorbed
Yeah. Yeah.
might be a problem. And
Eating-
prebiotics is the same thing. It's like you're ingesting something that you might just completely digest and not get any benefit
That's
from.
what I was gonna say. Our hydrochloric acid in our gut,
Yeah.
I mean, in our stomach, before getting to where
Yeah.
it's meant to get to, might just kill it.
Might kill it. Yep.
Yeah.
100%.
So I don't know. That's just me though.
Yeah.
To me, something goes through my hydrochloric acid and
Yeah.
kills me.
Yeah, I would say if you're gonna do like probiotics and prebiotics, then maybe you should eat things that have like live cultures in it.
Like
so
yogurt?
like yogurt, kimchi,
Right.
kombucha.
Oh, yeah.
Those type of things.
cannot-
I hate kombucha.
Oh.
I hate kombucha. I've had it before and I don't mind the taste of it.
Oh, I mind the taste of it a lot.
I like it. I like that
So I was working.
that kimchi-ish type of sourness.
Oh my God. Okay. So I was working at this job in New York when we were living in New York, right? And we lived in Brooklyn, and then I would travel into, oh my God, what's the name of that area there? The Washington.
Washington Square.
That. So my job was right off of the Washington Square, right? And then right there, facing Washington Square, was a Whole Foods. And I was an office bitch at this job, right? So I would get everybody's like lunch, whatever. If there was a meeting, I had to go get shit for the clients or whatever. So I was, the office bitch. So there I went to Whole Foods, and then they're like, dude, the office I worked for, they were very granola. Let's say, okay. Let's just say granola. So I didn't last long in that job, let's say. Anyway, so they were like, yeah, get us this, get us that. And one of them was kombucha. And then, dude, it was like, I don't know how many times they asked me for kombucha. I'm like, what the fuck is this that they keep on asking for? They love this shit in this office. What the hell is this? My Cuban ass had no idea what the hell that was. So, okay, there I go. And I'm like, I'm going to get an extra one for myself.
Yeah.
Let's see what this is. I was thinking that it was like a juice.
Yeah.
Like, because it comes like in very cute bottles with colors, like they're all different colors, and then they say that they're like strawberry or mango or whatever.
Yeah.
They say that. Mira. So there I was in my desk, and I open it up, and I think mine was supposed to be strawberry. Supposed to be. And I'm like, oh yeah, cool. And I'm like, ugh. I was like, this is straight up vinegar.
Yeah, it's like sour.
I was like, and these bitches are drinking this left and right. Dude, they had like a kombucha all the time. All the time. And we're like, this is disgusting. And then when I turned around, it has live cultures and all that. I'm like, this is like a yogurt juice.
Yeah. It's a yogurt juice.
I was like, fuck right for that. Like, this is disgusting. What's wrong with you people? How do you people think this is yummy?
I kind of liked it. I just stopped though because I thought it was breaking me out. But
Horrible. I'm telling you, like, I had a sip and I almost spit it out on my desk. And the worst part about it is that it was, again, this was a very granola environment. So it's all like very open spaces. So it's like a big desk, and I'm sharing it with 4 or 5 people. And then there's another big desk and another 4 or 5 people and whatever. So I'm here and I'm like, and I'm like, if I spit this out, 1, it'll land on my computer, and 2, it'll probably land on my boss that is right across from me. as I'm booking her fucking flights.
Flights también.
Yeah, no, I did everything. I was the office bitch. I was like, this is the worst. Fiat, I'm just
Like work trips or
I was like-
personal trips?
both, dude, both. I was,
Oh my God, qué pena.
I was, yeah, no, I was her bitch. And I had to schedule her. She was moving her car from California to New York. I had to figure that shit out too. Yeah. Ay, girl.
Did they at least pay you a
Those
lot?
days, no. Hence why I left. I'm like, I think I'm smarter than this shit.
Yeah.
Bro, like
Good for you.
I was just like, I can't. This isn't even science related. And I don't like to give myself a lot. Like, I'm not a doctor. Like, she's a doctor. She's a full ass doctor.
Oh my God.
Okay. I don't want to give myself a lot. I'm just a curious person. Okay.
Yeah.
That's just that's my shtick. My shtick is that I'm a curious person and whatever. And I go off of that. But I was just like, it was mind numbing because it was all about how let's market for these clients. And then I was like, oh, this, but there was one client that he was like insufferable.
Oh.
He was like all about like gym and wellness and super granola bullshit. And I'm here in these meetings because I'm like taking notes like for the meetings. And I'm just like, wrong. Are you telling your clients to eat this? And I'm just like, I can't. Like this.
How did you quit?
I sent a letter and I'm like, this is my 2-week notice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and it was a big. How could you do this to me? She made it like a huge stink and everything because, dude, I did everything for her.
Yeah.
And it was like right
Well,
before.
you gave her 2 weeks.
Yeah, and it was before the holidays because I was gonna come back here to Miami and spend 2 weeks here. So then I'm like, I'm not gonna go ahead and take 2 weeks off and then come back and quit.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm gonna go ahead and just do it now.
No, yeah.
And then if not, oh no, she was the type of person that she would email me like at 9, 10, 11 at night for all these things, and I'm just like, I'm not getting paid enough for this, bro.
Yeah, no.
I'm not. It was supposed to be a part-time. Never was it a part-time. I was there like all day, every day, whatever I could. But yeah, the things that I would hear, like these clients about all this, about wellness and all that, I'm just like, there's a lot of guys, just be careful with what you hear out there, especially on TikTok. She was just looking right now, which is part of this because it's the gut and people are ingesting this. Do not follow the trend on TikTok about drinking borax
acid. Yeah.
Don't do it. What is the obsession lately with Tide Pods? With eating?
Yeah.
That's what I'm
What is
saying.
that?
There's like something about detergents and washing and all these cleaning fluids that people just want to drink. No, please don't do that. Please don't. So I showed her a video on TikTok, which is a doctor that we follow on Funny Medicine podcast. Look for us there on TikTok. And we follow him, and he's really good at debunking with science and facts on all these stupid trends. And one of them that I didn't even know until he brought it up was people are drinking boric acid like days. Like, oh yeah, I'm on day whatever of drinking it. And I was like, and they say, oh, because it's natural. Like he said, arsenic is also natural.
Lead is also natural.
Don't do it. Don't do it. So always be careful on what you hear on these trends. It was like me listening to this client in this meeting. I was like,
and then there's people literally jump on, and I'm like, no, you literally kill roaches with boric acid.
Don't do it. Don't do it. But we digressed. Anyway, so were you talking or was I talking?
You were talking.
Oh, I was. Okay. Avoiding processed foods, added sugars, and artificial sweeteners. For sure. I mean, we've all heard that processed foods, the more and more studies are being conducted on it, the worse we're finding out about it. Like, for instance, hot dogs. Like, horrific.
Terrible.
The stuff that's coming out on hot dogs.
But what about Costco hot dogs? I'm just kidding. I just love them.
I love cheese dogs.
Oh, man.
Oh, a good cheese dog. If you guys aren't watching on video, good.
Thank God.
Let's just say good. Managing stress and practicing relaxation techniques, okay? Getting enough sleep and exercise, for sure. Our last couple of episodes have been about that. Listening to your gut feelings and intuition. I mean, it is a mind-gut connection.
Feel it.
In your gut.
Yeah.
And the mind-gut connection is a fascinating topic that has gained popularity in the recent years. Many social media users are interested in learning more about their gut, how it affects their brain, and vice versa. And that's what we're here talking about. Now, one thing that I kept on bumping into as I was doing the research for this is the Human Microbiome Project. Maybe some of you that are in like the sciencey world have heard of it. And if you haven't, we're going to give you like a little bit of a snippet about it because it's super interesting and we're learning so much about ourselves with it. So go right ahead.
So since the gut and the brain are connected, just like we've been saying, by networks of nerves, the enteric nervous system, the hormones and microbes, all the little goodness. So microbes is everything, bacteria, viruses, fungi, everything that lives inside of us. Okay. So what that means is that it can greatly influence our health and well-being. So it's part of us, right? The U.S. Human Microbiome Project, funded by the NIH, studied how different people have different gut microbes and how it affects their health. They found that the gut microbes can change due to factors like diet, stress, exercise. So everything that we just said, they are basically starting to research it and see what is turning up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, how is it actually working?
Yeah. How is it working?
Yeah.
What is it that you're doing differently from everyone else? And then also, if this can lead to chronic disease like digestive problems, heart disease, mental disease.
Right.
Okay. So scientists are looking for ways to change the gut microbes to improve gut-brain link and prevent or treat these diseases.
Yeah.
So one way to increase it is to increase the variety of gut microbes, which can help with mental health. This has been studied a lot by Sung-Ha Lee and her team. Sung-Ha Lee, she's basically a PhD and she's
done a lot of research on this
whole entire, you know, mental health and its association with the gut microbiome.
Yeah.
So the gut-brain link is important to consider when we choose what to eat. We can listen to our bodies and make better choices for our health. Having a healthy gut means having a healthy brain and body. Remember,
you are what you eat. We actually didn't even plan that out.
That
worked out good.
Boom.
How you like that?
What's up? Well, we did eat the same thing, so maybe we're
Yes.
connecting in our mind bodies in that way. I don't know what I'm saying. I don't know what I'm doing. Anyway. This was like fiesta.
Yeah, I know.
It was awful. I'm a mom, but I say a lot of like dad puns and dad jokes, unfortunately. It's a bad habit. I need to break it. Anyway, so thank you for tuning in. Keep on subscribing. Check out our Patreon. If you think this is funny, we have even funnier stuff on Patreon, which we're going to do now with some changes of appearances.
Oh, yeah, I know.
She's not looking forward to it. But you guys voted for it. You guys voted for it, so we will deliver. Check that out on Patreon.
See everyone on our next episode.
Bye.
Bye.
Like, comment, review us on all streaming platforms, Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, etc.
Check us out on Instagram and TikTok at Funny Medicine Podcast. Our Gmail is at funnymedicine305@gmail.com. And remember, we are not diagnosing you.
Definitely not. Just funny stuff.
See you later, guys.